Sorry for that. Nice to meet you. My name is Seelos and I am co-directing the Global Innovation for Impact Lab that is a part of Stanford University's Center on Philanthropy and Civil Society. My intention for today is to examine some perceptions about social innovation. Perceptions that limit our potential to enact positive change. I am concerned that if we don't carefully reflect on these issues, we run the risk of ineffective decisions and actions that make innovation harder than it already is. Failure is a normal part of innovations, because innovation, in the end, is all about exploring uncertain assumptions about the world, assumptions about what an effective intervention might look like, and uncertain assumptions about our own cognitive and emotional potential. We may overestimate how smart we are. We may overestimate how strong we are. Innovation is a tough master who really tests our ability to nurture and develop our sources of power, influence, and inspiration. Unfortunately, much innovation discussion revolves around technical issues of resources, structures, and processes. Let's talk about resources first. The resources that are usually considered in innovation discourses are technologies, capital. But both of these resources exist in relative abundance, and resource-based theory, one of the more important perspectives in strategic management, tells us that for a resource to be of strategic importance, it needs to be valuable but also rare, scarce, difficult to imitate and difficult to substitute by other types of resources. So in this presentation, I want to make the argument that one of the most important strategic resources in innovation is the committed, patient leader who inspires and orchestrates the activities of others through the ups and downs of the innovation process. And if you want to know more about the ups and downs of the innovation processes, please consider two of the following readings that my center at the Stanford PAX has recently published. In addition to resources, most innovation discussions revolve around the issue of structures. Structures such as innovation labs, accelerators, hackathons, boot camps, and so on. Having observed many of these structures, I'm a bit concerned about their effectiveness. We have very little data on their performance. It seems that in the corporate sector, more innovation labs are being closed down than new ones are opening up. And finally, beyond resources and structures, much innovation discussion revolves around processes. Processes such as idea pitches, lean and agile, minimal viable products, rapid prototyping, or prescriptions such as that you must understand a problem first and then design an effective solution. That does not really match the insights from my own research on effective social enterprises. Rather, I would propose a process of patient and careful exploration of complex social systems until you have calibrated these systems and discovered potential avenues for progress that remain hidden very often when you start out. Now, these issues are all important, but allow me to introduce an additional perspective on innovation that revolves around three dimensions that I think really need to come together to make social innovation effective. One of these dimensions is a systems perspective. What are systems? I understand systems as the local realities that people find themselves in, that create and sustain problems and their dynamics of change. Now, a systems perspective implies the slightly provocative idea that problems don't exist. Problems are merely interpretations about whether or not a situation is troubling and for who. And people may disagree on that. Let me use an example. Gender inequality, where women may be prevented from participating in local decision-making processes or engaging in income-generating work. Now, the women would interpret this situation as deeply troubling and problematic. But powerful men may benefit from the same situation and defend their rights and privileges. You cannot just understand and solve this problem. Instead, effective innovation journeys often start by doing something uncontroversial, providing a simple solution to a non-contested problem. Issues such as infrastructure, water, energy, medicines are often useful tools to create a lot of goodwill and trust at low levels of risk and uncertainty. This trust and goodwill is then a basis for calibrating the system more accurately and discovering avenues for potential progress on more contested problems and situations such as gender inequality. I have recently summarized these insights together with some practical pointers in a Stanford Social Innovation Review magazine article. The second dimension I call mastery. Mastery, getting really good at something. Configuring various resources, including social technologies such as trust and goodwill, a deep understanding of local realities, and then carefully integrating hard technologies, including appropriate types and levels of technology and capital. Impatience and urgency are the enemies of mastery. Unfortunately, much innovation discourse revolves around the ideas of getting to solutions more quickly and accelerating progress. That does not really fit. To understand the evolution and the architecture of true mastery in social enterprises, consider, for example, this article that we recently published in a leading Academy of Management journal. Mastery is an art, the ambition to do something really well. And that brings us to the fundamental third dimension of our framework, the dimension of clarity and commitment. Clarity and commitment, understood as the authenticity with which you act on your deepest intrinsic motivations. To explore this dimension, ask yourself, which aspects of this world do you find deeply troubling? Which community do you really care about? Who do you want to become, and what is the contribution that you wish to make in this world? This dimension is crucially important for innovation, because innovation can only be done by human beings. If we cannot motivate ourselves, our teams, and our partners, we cannot grow our ambition for doing something really, really well. And then our impact potential will remain limited. Without a strong intrinsic motivation, the reason why you get out of bed in the morning and give your best, you will give up too early and you won't try hard enough. Your levels of ambition will remain low. Innovation only fails if you give up. Those entrepreneurs and organizations who are clear about their commitment, they will recover from setbacks. They will stand up and try again and keep going. In that sense, they cannot fail because every step is being informed by prior hard-earned learning. So the strength of your commitment drives the motivation and ambition that is required for exploring systems more deeply and mastering what you're doing. Without that, your impact performance will remain low.
A lovely example of the power of commitment is Sekem, a social enterprise in Egypt. I have written a case study in collaboration with the Harvard Kennedy School that provides with more detail on this fascinating organization.
Thank you so much for engaging with my thinking and my research about effective social innovation. I am looking forward to our discussions in November. And to all of you social innovators out there, best wishes and good luck, because you will also need some of that. I'm looking forward to seeing you all very soon. Bye-bye.